Aries, Happy New Year. The energies are kicking. Can you feel it? I feel like this is going to be a really incredible month for you. I cannot wait to see how this transpires. So let's have an aligned astro chat about it. So my beautiful Aries, before this video starts, I have to just tell you I had a brain fart and I kept talking about December, but it's actually all for January. So please just ignore any reference that I make to December at all, and we will see you soon. Enjoy. Hello all, I'm Stacy the Black Feather Intuitive, and welcome to your Transformational Tarot. So Aries, this is for your Sun, Moon, Rising. You can also watch this for your Venus and Mars if you're so inclined. And this is also for the Aries in your life. If you have an Aries that you love, you can benefit greatly from this. All right. We are going to be pulling cards, an overarching theme this month from the Healing Spirits Oracle, and this is Gordon Smith. And then for you guys this month, I got that we needed to pull cards from the Marchetti Tarot. Really excited about that. So without further ado, let's get to it. Okay, let's get that overarching theme. And I'm just really excited. I'm finally at a point after 11 years on YouTube where I can offer memberships and things. So if you like this type of content and you want to keep the conversation going, take a look at the join button. I've got 3 different levels. Okay, here's what we got for you in December. To overcome, you first have to climb. And wow, I'm really feeling here, Aries, that the energy in December is really going to be encouraging you to take a look at where you're playing small in your life, where you're maybe making some excuses about why you can't do this or why you can't do that. Maybe it's, well, it's not the right time, or I don't have enough money in the bank, or, my spouse isn't supporting me in, what this is, or I've got to put my kids first. Whatever this is, I feel, Aries, like this is a month here in December where you're going to see all of the possibilities. Everything is going to be wide open to you. And to overcome, you first have to climb. This is a month where you're going to be given a lot of opportunity and, dare I say, a lot of encouragement and support to do the hard thing, to walk the path, to take the stairs less climbed, right? Take the road less traveled. And I want to encourage you that when I'm looking at all of this beautiful red energy, and it almost looks like an eyeball to me, almost like a little iris, it is about seeing things from a broader perspective and seeing yourself, sorry about Neo here, seeing yourself smack dab in the middle of that vision. A lot of manifestation, a lot of co-creative work is going to be super beneficial for you here. Okay, Fuzz, thank you. Okay, let's dive in and see how you are transforming this month. And at present, where are you right now in your transformational journey? What part of you is shifting, rising, or dissolving? It's this one. Oh, interesting. 6 of Cups. So I feel like where you're at right now, you're looking at what it took to get you to where you're at right now. And you're looking at it almost from a, I should have done this, or I could have done that, or why did I not, do the thing? And I want to say to you, where you're at is exactly where you're supposed to be. Nostalgia is great. The past is good, and memories are, if the memories can generate a feeling or an emotion that is wanted, that you want more of, that nostalgia and that memory lane trip can be beneficial from the perspective of giving you the reminder of the feeling that you're trying to generate. But that's as far as it goes. So if you're stuck in the past, if you're really wanting to go back, I want to say there is no going back. There's only going forward. And this is serving right now, Aries. I feel this is the thing that kind of is keeping you a bit small. this is serving you only to keep you one foot in the past and one foot in the future. And, you're not going to split yourself in half in order to be able to do one or the other. So I feel like this is time for you to use your fire, to allow that flame to burn away the past. You're always going to have those memories. You're always going to be able to recall the feeling, the sensation that comes from the positive memory. And see it now as, okay, that was level 1 or that was level 2. Now I'm ready to take it to level 5. And so I can use that as foundation, but really my focus is the forward, not the looking back. So I feel like this can be dissolving for you if you choose it. This can allow you to rise by using it appropriately is kind of the messaging that I'm getting around that, if that makes sense. Okay, what is the catalyst? What's fueling or hindering your transformation? And is this resistance or is it rocket fuel? No, it's this one. Okay. Wow. Your guides are bossy today. They're telling me, no, not this one, this one. I love it, the Magician. So yes, I was talking about manifestation, and this is definitely a card of manifestation. When we look at the Magician, we see it as the resources that we have within us. We see it as, I have everything that I need literally at my fingertips or within my fingertips if I really put aside the noise of the external world and step into the silent knowing. And in the silent knowing, you can expand, you can play. In your mind's eye, you can use that imagination space to really connect to the vision of what you're really wanting to do. And notice I said, maybe you were at level 1 or level 2 here, but you're trying to get to level 5. That's a 3-level jump. So again, no more playing small. This is about going big or going home and going really big. I always love to say, shoot for the stars, because even if you hit the sky, it's still pretty amazing, right? So overshoot. In negotiation, what's the first rule of negotiation is go high. Start off with a ridiculously high number, because what's the worst that can happen? They say no, and you go back to the drawing board and you start the negotiation, right? What's the best that can happen? That they actually agree to your crazy high number, right? So I feel like this Magician is coming through because here in December, you are being encouraged, you are being led, compelled, even some of you, in a way to be able to take time out to really get clear on what you're manifesting. And PS and FYI, for those of you who aren't, visual in that way, and you say, well, I don't really know how to visualize something. I don't know how to see it actually come into play. Feeling is more important than the seeing. And some of you, if you can't feel it either, then write it out. Write it out in story form. Tell yourself a story. Pretend you're writing a fiction novel, and that fiction novel happens to have you as the main character. And just get it out on paper, because your guides know what it is that you're seeking, what it is that you're wanting. The Magician in us being here on planet Earth in the physical means that we have to actually declare it. We have to command and demand it. We have to speak it into existence or communicate it into existence. So even if you write it out and read it, or even if you just write it out, you are telling the universe, this right here is what I want. So I feel like the catalyst can help you. It is assistance in a big way, but you can't resist it. He's putting his hands up and he's got all of these beautiful symbols. And I feel like there's some Atlantean symbols here. We have some, math symbols. We've got some astrology symbols here. We've got some, Greek lettering here, the Alpha and the Omega. We've got all sorts of things here. So don't put the hand up to resist. Put the hand up to receive. And I feel like that's something really important for you to consider. Okay. And deep root. What deep belief, wound, or soul contract is driving this transformation under the surface? I got hung up on wound. I almost wanted to say deep wound. So I'm going to say that's what is this is for you is the deep wound. Defensiveness, feeling like you've had to defend yourself in ways that I want to say others haven't had to defend themselves towards you, or feeling as though you're the only one in the hot seat, fearing that in some cases, fearing that you're the only one in the hot seat and that no one else is held accountable for their actions, but you're held accountable for yours. Here in December, I want to say that's an old story. And I'm not trying to negate if this is an experience that you're going through right now. When I say that's an old story, I'm hearing from your guides that they're trying to encourage you to move forward, to not be one foot in the past. This is about burning away the past. This is about stepping into a new vision. So stop telling yourself that story and instead say to yourself, the experience that I had in having to defend myself gave me a skill set that I can now use to my advantage moving forward. I can spot any pitfalls before they actually arrive. I'm also feeling like for some of you, this is in direct connection to a career path. And I want to say like a shift in your career path. This is not for everyone. This is a general reading. So take what works for you, leave the rest behind. But for some of you, I feel like there's a real career shift that you're considering or that you've just made and you're navigating the new shift. And what I want to say to you is borrow the confidence or borrow the direction, the blueprint from others that you emulate, that you admire, that you have seen do this before and do it successfully, and borrow from them, borrow that energy so that you're turning this defensiveness more so into the wisdom that you have to offer, the wisdom that people seek you out for. So, turn that frown upside down, take the lemons and make lemonade. In essence, I know that sounds simple and basic and pedantic, but that's what I'm really feeling here when I'm tapping into this energy. The seven energy, the number and the energy of the number itself is a divine number, but it's also a number that says, this is the prototype. This is the time to dot the I's and cross the T's. This is the time to get really clear on the specifics, the details of what is it that you're really trying to achieve. And you might not know that specifically yet, but this is why this is important this month. This is the month for you to figure out what level 5 looks like for you, because you're coming out of level 1 and level 2. And this wants to support you. So it's a deep wound that you are now going to be healing from because you're moving forward and you're getting the opportunity to dot the I's and cross the T's. You're getting the opportunity to really dream big and to formulate the vision of what it is that you want. I feel like there's a shift in your goal setting. And this is for everyone now, not just about the people that are shifting their work trajectory. There's a lot of goal setting, and it's goal setting from a completely different perspective. So be open to all the possibilities. Don't limit yourself. Remove yourself from the box. Remember, the imagination space has no limitation, no boundary of any kind. So take advantage of that. This is what's dying away. What part of you is dying away at this time? What role pattern or identity has run its course? Interesting. Being swept up in your emotions, allowing your emotional space to drive the bus, to steer the ship. It's really interesting because I feel like for some of you, Aries, like this is a Scorpio card. I feel almost like some of you have been behaving like a Scorpio, but you're in Aries. You have that Aries quality and that Aries energy. And of course, we all have Scorpio in our charts. You have Scorpio in your chart as well. But I want to say this is a time to step in and realize, but I'm not a Scorpio. I'm an Aries. I almost want to say this is a month where you're going to be reclaiming your identity. And I don't feel like you've lost something as much as you've put it to the side. You've covered it up. You've put it in the drawer for later, whether consciously or otherwise. And December is the month where you are recognizing, oh, the fire needs to come out now. The water was there because I was feeling some type of way. I needed to process. I needed to heal. I needed to, be in my feels. But now I need to bring my fire back. Now it's time to reignite the soul path, the soul journey, and to reignite or to rediscover what actually lights my fire and floats my boat. It's about passion. And Queen of Cups is also about healing. So I think it's really interesting that it's coming off of, we talked about your wound. Your wound is right there. It's at the surface, but it doesn't need to overtake you any longer. And so I'm really feeling that energy when I'm looking at this Queen of Cups. This is your time to heal. You are healing, but to heal, you have to drop the Scorpio approach, the Scorpionic approach. And instead it's stepping into, okay, what is my fire wanting to show? What is my fire wanting to lead with? That's what I'm trying to spit out. Okay, highest potential. This is your highest Phoenix potential. What part of you can rise from the ashes? What is your soul calling you towards? This is your breakthrough energy. Oh, I love it. Okay. You are shifting in a big way out of these limiting beliefs. You are recognizing where these old patterns, these old rituals that served you for a long time are now holding you back. And I mentioned level 5. I have to point out this is a number 5 and the magician is a number 1. So, we're having this. You are making big leaps. You're getting ready to make big leaps. You're getting ready to up level in a pretty significant way. But what needs to go is tradition for tradition's sake. And I feel like what you're tapping into in December, Aries, is a real evaluation. And I want to say it's almost like a come to Jesus moment within your gut, within your soul, that says, what is it that I'm believing here that is serving me? And what is it that I'm believing here that is keeping me so far away from what it is that I'm wanting to have? Because that, in essence, is what needs to shift and change. It's not so much that your beliefs were bad. It's that they served you at a previous time. And there's this energy of reclaiming yourself today. Reclaiming. So if you're going to reclaim yourself, I feel like it's not about going back and doing the same things over again. It's about saying, okay, based on this new vision that I'm creating for myself, what traditions and rituals will I need now? Now that I am healed, I'm happy and healthy and healed and whole, I'm back in my fire energy and I'm supported. What do I need to do now to nurture and foster that fire and that flame? Water isn't going to do it. Water is a part of it, but water isn't going to do it. It's the passion. And the Hierophant, when you're doing the same ritual, the same routine, the same over and over and over again, it dulls the fire. It dulls the passion. It dulls the palate. It dulls everything, because then everything is just by rote. Everything is predictable. It's basic. You can phone it in. And Aries, you've been doing that in certain areas of your life for a little while. This is the month to break out. And astrologically, I feel like the energies are going to support this. I want to say this, this reignition of your fire, reignition of your flame. So it's breaking out of limiting belief and stepping into the new and improved version of you as your own guide. What is emerging just around the corner? What energy or experience is coming in to support the next phase? Interesting. 6 of coins. Okay. So this is a reinvestment in yourself, but it's also, I want to say, a reinvestment in the things that are going to matter to you when you reach this goal. So the trick here is, again, not the things that mattered. We are removing the past for you. It's about the things that are going to matter you in this successful new vision. So this is going to require you, your magician energy, to step in and to say, okay, if this is the vision that I want, I have to kind of be an actor. I have to kind of build a backstory, write a backstory. Think of the actors and their methods of being able to portray a particular character. Often, especially a character that is not based on a true story, right? They have to pull something out of nothing, right? And so they often will write a backstory on their character. They will often envision what comes after the scene, or what comes after the movie, or what comes after the show, or the incident for the character. And they do all of these things before they actually connect with the character in the scene or the script itself, in order to fully understand who this person is. And in the process of that, that's how they become the person. I was saying it to you earlier too, like borrowing characteristics from somebody that you admire or that has done this thing. And you want it to be authentic. You want it to be yours. You want it to throw your own spin on it. But there is nothing wrong with using somebody else's blueprint as a guideline for you to get yourself started. And so I'm really feeling that this is what is emerging for you, is a reinvestment into yourself that is going to be successful. This is a card of generosity. It's a card of give and take. It's a card of reciprocity. But you have to actually put yourself in the center of the vision first in order to understand, in order to receive this, and in order to understand what it is that you're really wanting to receive. And I am hearing that it's about wants, not so much about needs. Needs are going to be there too, but it's also about wants. Wow, that's really interesting, Aries. I feel like this is a month where you're really kind of coming to life. And for some of you, this is going to be in one area or aspect of your life. And for some of you, I feel like it's going to be kind of across the board, where you're, so don't shoot the messenger. I can only give you what I'm getting. You're releasing fear, the fear of being who you actually really truly are. And that, I feel, is the gift that you want to give to the world. And there's a part of you that has been playing small because of, for whatever reason, people in your life keeping you small, saying things that are affecting you on an emotional level, looking at the subconscious component of things as well, I feel is really important. Because you are healing from these old stories. You're releasing these old stories and not allowing these old stories to inform and dictate your choices moving forward. And you have been allowing them to inform and dictate your choices up to this point, but no more. And let's celebrate that. Don't see it as, something to beat yourself up over. See it as a celebration. Yay, I'm ready. I'm here now. And that's all that matters. This is your role in this process. How are you navigating your transformation? Are you resisting, flowing, grieving, or boldly rising? So you're resisting. And I feel like some of this is a subconscious resistance, and some of this is connected to fear. But maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe I'm not worthy enough. I don't really have enough to be able to, I don't have enough energy to be able to devote to this, this new exciting passion that I have. I need to stay more, in my lane. I don't really have enough money to be able to step forward and say yes to this particular opportunity or proposal, even though it's what I want. I don't have enough money. So maybe next month or maybe next year. I feel like this is coming up as a reminder for you that you are fire and flame. You're an Aries. You're a self-starter. You are a visionary. And visionaries are so needed right now. You can do it so easily for other people in your life. Do it for you. Embrace that fire. Embrace that flame. This Four of Coins, I feel is really more of a reflection of how you're trying to keep yourself protected. But if you're healing this wound, there's no need for this level of protection. You're going to be able to protect yourself because you're going to see before it even comes anybody who the circumstances and the people that created this wound in the first place. First of all, it's in the past. It's already happened. It doesn't have to happen again if you don't want it to. And second of all, you're smarter, better, faster now because you've seen it. Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. I can't unsee you, dude. It's a Wizard of Oz moment. So don't resist. Don't get in your way. What did we talk about with the magician? Don't put the hand up, put the hand out. Receive. This is blocking you. Be open to receiving because this is what wants to come. This is ultimately what you're manifesting. So just recognize what you're putting out there. You recognize that you really want it, but also recognize where maybe the fear is stepping in to say, but you really can't have it. Circles of support. Who or what is influencing your transformation right now? And is it a positive or a negative influence? Interesting. So I feel this little struggle, this little battle within you. It's kind of like I'm seeing the cartoon of the angel and the devil on each of your shoulders. The conscience, again, remember I talked about wants. I feel like that might be what is sort of going on here. And so I want to say, get out of your head, go and talk with a trusted friend or a mentor or an advisor. Go talk to a family member that you trust. Talk to a stranger on the street if that's what is required. But you want to get out these thoughts. And I feel like you really want to be able to receive. You want to be able to open your hand and say, yes, I deserve all of that and more. You're trying to get rid of this. In order to get rid of this has to come out. It has to come out of your psyche. It has to come out of your thought process. It has to come out of your subconscious. And the Two of Swords often indicates, a decision. I always say it's the shit sandwich card. I have to make a decision between shit sandwich A and shit sandwich B. Neither choice is optimal, but in order to move forward, I gotta move forward. I gotta make a choice. I gotta eat the shit in order to get to the other side and just say, okay, that was a rough one, but now we're moving forward, right? I don't feel that this is about you, not to put too fine a point on it, but I don't feel like this is you having to eat this shit as much as this is you, I want to say, kind of making things this intense or bringing this intensity to a situation. The phrase that's coming into my mind is like making a mountain out of a molehill, but not realizing that that's what you're doing. And I don't feel like you're doing this on purpose. And I don't feel like, this is, for nefarious reasons. It feels almost like a triggered state. It feels almost like the subconscious is kicking in. And you're not even aware that that's why some of these decisions feel like a shit sandwich. But if you really step back, you give yourself permission to be objective about each of the choices from the perspective of which choice allows me to get to this more boldly or in a faster fashion or, with jumping for joy or with a partner or with a new circle of friends. Whatever you want to incorporate, however you envision this, soon to be future, the near future to look like, this is why this is coming up. So when we're talking about this being a circle of support, I want to say it's an invitation to reach out to your circle of support about this. Don't be afraid to share the musings of the angel and the devil on your shoulder and get a second opinion, right? Get a third opinion. Have a little sounding board cha-cha about it. Because at the end of the day, what I'm feeling the message is this needs to get out of you so that it doesn't continue to kind of poison or toxic. It's like a toxic experience within the body. Maybe it served you at one point to protect you, but now it's eating you alive. Now it's keeping you from the vision. It's keeping you stuck in the past. So, I feel like a lot of times the message is release, release, release. We're always releasing, release, release, release. It's like Dory, just keep swimming, always swimming, 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 always swimming. But I do feel that what is coming up for you in this reading is not just the stereotypical message of release. I feel like the message is you're healing. Your guides are bringing in incidents and opportunities, and sometimes you can look at it as a challenge, even this month, that is really not allowing you to do anything other than to heal and move forward from this past. That is something to celebrate. I'm just going to shout that from the rooftops. That is something to celebrate. Okay, hopes and fears. What are you dreaming of becoming, and what scares you about actually doing it? Wow. So this is definitely a month of manifestation for you. Look at all of the coins that you've had. And in, pretty quick succession here too. So, coins is health and wealth, but it's also the thoughts that have manifested into, become things. It's become something tangible, something viable. And this is really interesting because what you're really hoping for is the legacy that you really want to leave behind, how you want people to think of you, to see you, the work that you are creating. You are thinking about that in advance as part of the vision of, I want to matter. I want to make a difference. I want my visions to have lasting effect. And at present moment, because I'm not in my flame energy, because I'm in my kind of my water energy, I'm afraid that this has already been messed up. I'm afraid that it's too late. That ship has sailed. And I want to say to you, no, there are many things that you've put into place that maybe are, going to come to pass. They're going to come to fruition. But you have the opportunity right now to build a new path, to create a new stream, right? And that 10 of coins says there is victory in this, a new beginning based on an already established foundation. You already have what you need. The resources are here at your fingertips. It's a matter of giving yourself permission to access them. And again, I come back to the fire and the flame. Notice with this particular card that we're not really seeing a ton of sunlight and sunshine. We're starting to see it a little bit in the background, because it's been blocked by all of the things in the stuff. It's kind of like you have so much that you can work with, but it doesn't have any cohesion. So it all just feels like a big jumble of mess. But when you put a little bit of order or structure to it, you can start to see how the pieces all fit together. And now suddenly, oh, okay, there's the light, there's the path. I get it. For some of you, I feel like this might even be a little bit of an on the nose message to do some spring cleaning in your house, clear out clutter, any areas in your living space or your working space where it gives you a little anxiety when you think about, oh, I got to clean out that cupboard, or I got to reorganize. I just did it recently, actually, with my card decks. Cleaning the decks out that they're no longer serving me, or I'm not using them. I'll figure out what to do with them later, but for now, I need them out of my space. I need them out of my hair. It's an energetic thing. So I feel like that's what's sort of coming up. And I want to say your greatest hope is also your greatest fear. But if I said to you, your success is assured, and if you know that your success is assured, what would you do? What action steps would you take? I feel like that's what this card is about. And that's the question you want to ask yourself. Knowing that my success is assured, knowing that I am going to get, this level 5 vision, and I'm going to get there faster than I can even imagine. What choices am I going to make as a result of that? That is what this invitation is. Cool. Okay. And this is your outcome. If you stay on course this month, who will you be on the other side of this journey? What is the result of embracing the full death and rebirth cycle? Oh, I love it. So 2 10s back to back. Got to point that out. So definitely new beginning based on an already established foundation. Divine timing working in your favor. And I want to say to you, I'm hearing here a lot of liquid luck. your luck is changing in a positive way, whether it's in one area of your life or across the board in your life. Your luck is changing. This feels like you have a lucky streak, so you go to and I'm not suggesting that you go and gamble. I'm just using this as an analogy of, so many times we see that, in shows and in movies where, they get inspired and they go and they get on a winning streak, right? That's what it kind of feels like. It's like that lottery energy. And of course, I'm not suggesting that you're all going to go and win the lottery and that this is about money, although you have enough coins in this reading that this is about substance. This is about, health and wealth. But I will say to you, the outcome is going to be a new beginning that you're really freaking excited about, that sets you up in a very successful way, that has all of the elements in it that you could possibly need. And it's about you having the confidence to be able to put those elements together in such a way that all of the pieces fit, and off you go. This feels very much like a card of success, but it does have that divine timing factor. And wherever you go, there you are. And you're exactly where you're supposed to be. So don't get hung up on timing, because our timing and divine timing are two different things. But I'm definitely feeling by the end of December, you're going to have a very, very clear blueprint that you will have already started working on that is going to open you to this next chapter. And if you are in that space of reclaiming that passionate part of you, that passionate side of you, the wheel is in support of that. Especially look at the fire that is, I want to say, is like igniting the wheel, the globe, what we can call this, the compass, whatever, the true north. The fire, your flame, is the initiator. So it's coming back into self. Wow. It has been such a pleasure. I'm so excited to be doing this 2026 with you. Happy New Year. What a great way for you to start this year off. I am still doing my year in preview and year in transformation limited time sessions for 2026. I have some limited bookings available if you wanted to get on the calendar and find out what 2026 has for you on a personal level. Would love to connect with you in that way. Otherwise, guys, take care. Have the most amazing January. Start 2026 off with a bang, and we will see you on the flip side.